Hi everybody, so today we've got a Charlotte Tilbury review, one of my absolute favourite brands, and the return of my all-time favourite face palette, which I am delighted about because my old one was getting quite grubby. So I'm going to be putting this on today, showing you how I wear this and also comparing it to the old one to make sure there's no changes. There's been lots of new releases and re-releases and packages put together for this release, the Nude collection from Charlotte Tilbury. So this is one of the new ones which I've picked up, the Big Lip PLUMPGASM. This is something that launched last year, and this is a new shade with new packaging to go with the nude theme. And I also picked up the fairest and the only one that would work for me of these lip duos. So this one is, one side is contour, I think it says, sculpt and fill. So this is for lining, sculpting, filling your lips. So I'm going to be trying this, but I'm going to actually try a number of things because they had a few duos that they were suggesting you put together. One of them being matching the liner with one of their nude lips. So I've picked one of these up in the Kissing range, a shade I didn't have. And another combination which I didn't have either, and I know so many people have talked about this, and that is this one here, the Super Nudes Easy Eye palette. So I didn't need another one of these, but I've heard so much about them and I love the formulas from Charlotte, so I thought why not try it while they're on offer with these duo sets. So I also got it with the eyeliner pen. So this is the brown. I love this one in the black, so I thought it'd be a good chance to try this one out. So you have this one to go in the waterline here, and then this one for lining, so the brown. So very much in my comfort zone with all of these shades today, and can't wait to try my new, fresh, beautiful Nudegasm. So anyway, lots of things to look forward to and try. Can't wait to get stuck in. And if you're new here, hi, my name's Hannah. I'm 48. I'm not a professional, just somebody who really loves makeup and beauty. And here on my channel, I show you the latest releases, my favourite looks, and give you any beauty news you might be interested in. I also have fair to light skin with predominantly cool undertones, which is why Nude collection is a dream come true today. And I've also got blue eyes. And if you're not subscribed, I would be ever so grateful if you did subscribe. Lots of people are tuning in without subscribing, so if you could, that would be ever so helpful to me. And if you already are, welcome back. I really appreciate you being here. I really do. Anyway, let's get on with this video. So I'm looking extremely pale. Normally when I come on and I've got foundation on, which I have right now, I've normally done some contour and a little bit of some sort of liquid or cream blush underneath my powder. Today, absolutely nothing, because I wanted to show you how I can use the Nudegasm to do it all for me, which is one of the things I love about this. So I can't wait to get this on, and I need to get this on first. So before I put that on, the first thing I will do is compare it with my original one. So here is the original. So the packaging hasn't changed at all. I think that's the only thing I'd say I'm a bit disappointed with, because when they changed the Lovegasm, they changed the packaging. So it would be quite nice if it was just different, even though it's familiar. So it's not a big deal. And some information on this. I need to quickly remember this actually before I forget. I've got a discount code with Charlotte Tilbury for 15% off. The code recently changed and a few people messaged me saying they tried it and it didn't work. I've been in touch with the team and they've said there was a problem. They've now fixed it and it is working. And one of my subscribers did actually message me to say it worked. So hopefully it's working. I'll put it on the screen now. So if you did want to buy any of these things from the Charlotte Tilbury website, this code I think works everywhere. So it doesn't have to just be in the UK. If you're on the Charlotte Tilbury website, wherever you are, this code should give you 15% off. So just saying that while I remember, because I always forget. So yeah, information about the Nudegasm. So let's now look at this wonderful palette, all shiny and new. Here it is, and some information on this. We have here 3 different luminous textures, translucent textures, and they have 4 different glow-giving shades. We have Super Glow, which is this one here, the soft champagne gold highlighter, and a lustrous wet shine texture. Glide on the glass-like glow formula to illuminate the look of your complexion and to light up the eyes. Look at that. And then we have this one here. This is Multi Glow, a multi-dimensional golden peach with a lustrous satin finish to enhance the sparkle of the eyes and create the illusion of health on the cheeks. Again, just look at the beauty of those two. Aren't they stunning? Let me swatch them actually so you can see them on the back of my hand. Gorgeous. And then we have this one, which is Soft Sculpt. So this one is a natural looking sandy taupe, and this one can shape, smoke and blur the appearance of imperfections. A hybrid cream powder formula. It really feels very creamy to the touch. This gives you a creamy, luminous matte finish. So there's that one. And then lastly, we have this one here, which is a Super Sculpt, a rich umber in a cream to powder hybrid formula as well. This one will create the effect of superstar bone structure and natural looking definition on the eyes. So there's those two. And if I put those onto my hand for you, so we have the lighter one. Look how well they swatch. And there's the darker one. Absolutely beautiful. And the perfect face palette. You can really do everything with this. This is such a good one to take on holiday if you want to just leave home so many products. What I want to do though is compare it with the original just to make sure it feels the same, looks the same, and there's no differences. But from swatching it, looking at it, feeling it, I'm very happy with it. So here is my original, looking quite messy for good reason. And here is the new one. So here we have that blush shade. This is the original and this is the new. I think the new is looking more shiny, so definitely not a downgrade. So there is the original and there is the new. It does look slightly lighter on my hand, which is a bit strange, but certainly formula wise they look exactly the same. In fact, there is a tiny bit more shine in the new one, which might just be down to the age factor because my original one is about 3 years old now. One of the reasons they feel different when you swatch them is because I've got rid of the embossing on the original, so it feels smoother. So this is the original highlighter and this is the new. Original and new. The new is definitely swatching in a more creamy, soft way actually, which does show that upgrading was a good option for me because it's just starting to age. But it does also show, I think, when you see the swatches of the original, that even 3 years later and out of date, it still works really well. So this isn't something I would have to have resigned, but the fact that I can get a new one is very good news for me. So now I'm swatching the bronzer. It feels so soft because I've taken away all of that writing on the top that's embossed, because it's quite a deep embossing. So here's the original in that darkest of the two contour shades, and here's the new. Original and new. And then lastly we have the lighter of the two contours. This one's the original and this one is the new. So if anyone was worried that this new one was different in any way or the formulas were different, you have nothing to worry about. This looks like an absolute knockout, just like the original. No changes at all. So this is the original and this is the new. So no fears there, or if you didn't get it but you heard how wonderful it was, don't worry, if you get the new one it's as wonderful as the original. And if you just wanted to see the difference between this one and the Lovegasm one, the Glowgasm, Lovegasm, yeah, that's what it's called. Here is the Lovegasm and here is Nudegasm. Both beautiful, but for me this one is just my cup of tea. It really is. You can probably tell from the way the embossing is still on here, whereas my original one of Nudegasm is very much not there. So I know that this is a cream to powder formula, but I've been a little bit confused about whether or not this is baked gelée formula. So I did a little bit of research yesterday, just to let you know in case you're interested. And I don't know if this is accurate because I think there's so many different people saying what's right and what's wrong with these formulas, and unless it's actually coming direct from the manufacturer, you never truly know. But what I've got, it says Nudegasm is not a baked gelée product. It's a hybrid cream powder formula that offers a luminous matte finish, which we know. While baked products are known for their smooth set finish and often used in baking techniques for makeup, Nudegasm uses a unique blend of lustrous pearl pigments and a brightening glow gel for a glowing satin-like finish. So it's a very different, very specific formula, which is what makes it so magic and so beautiful to use, and it also means you can never over apply it, but it isn't baked gelée according to that. But apparently Glowgasm, the original one I showed you, does have baked gelée in it. This is a high shine finish with a firmer texture, indicative, it says, of a baked gelée formula. So it's not confirmed. Users have noted the product requires a denser brush for optimal pickup, but that's the same with Nudegasm, a common trait of baked gelée products. So they both perform like baked gelée, and what I'm reading is Nudegasm isn't baked gelée, but Lovegasm might be. If you know any more, please do let me know, and everyone else, if you're interested. But all I can tell you is it's an absolutely fabulous formula. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into this lightest shade here, which I use as my contour. And I'm using my BK Beauty 207, and I'm going to run this down the side of my nose. So you'll get quite a bit of pigment picking it up with this brush, but I will be brushing this out. There is a brush that's launched with this collection for contour, which I have actually picked up, but it's delayed. So I will use that, and I will let you know how I'm getting on with it. So I'm going to start taking this as well into the eye. This will be meeting with the eyeshadow later. But just taking the brush down the sides of the nose now and starting to blend it out. But I will correct it more when I go in with a more fluffy brush, so please ignore the fact that my nose looks slightly over contoured there. And now I'm going to take my Mario F4 brush and tap into the same shade and put this in the areas where I like to have contour. So it doesn't feel like cream. It might look like I'm applying it like cream, but I do tend to pat on just about everything these days. And it applies incredibly smoothly, and you can see it's just a very light amount of pigment. So, and look, it's the perfect shade for me, I think, as a contour. It's also a perfect bronze shade because contour cool tone shades are really my bronze shade, which makes this dark one a little bit less successful as a bronzer. But the way I use that one is I mix the two together ever so slightly for a bronzer, which we'll try in a minute, but it's very good for the eyes. So if you want a full eye look, then you can start with this as your transition, build up depth with this all over the lid, and this in the corner and under the brow, and everywhere else you use highlight. I'm not going to do that on the eyes today because we're going to try that eyeshadow palette, but I wanted to let you know the easiest way that I use this and why I love it so much for holiday, because you can just take this and you've got every single thing you need. You just really need to take concealer and foundation, setting powder, and lip products, mascara, okay, an eyeliner. It doesn't cover everything, but it does mean I'm leaving behind bronzers, contours, blushes and highlights and eyeshadow. It's covering all of that in one palette, which is fabulous, and it just works. It's so easy. Just a light dusting now underneath the chin. So again, just using this, I'm using a dense brush because I'm contouring and I want a bit more payoff than I would if I was bronzing, but not too much. So you can see you don't get too much payoff, but that's fine. You could keep building this up, and also you could swirl around and get more on the brush. Now I'm going to use this brush to just slightly blend out on the side of the nose and bring it down there. Now I'm taking my bronzer brush, my Refa 22, and I literally dip into the two of these and now just start bronzing the whole of the face with that. So if you're somebody with a much deeper complexion, you might find that that very darkest brown works as your contour. Certainly doesn't for me, and you can see I've got quite a lot of bronze by dipping into the two. In fact, when I do that, I am usually wearing tan, so probably more ideally when I'm this pale I'd probably be better off just going with this one, but I've done it now, so I'm going to stick with it. So if you're as pale as me, I would just go for one tap in that, and then predominantly going into the lighter and then going into bronze. Mixed together, you can see it gives me a really sort of suntanned glow. I'm going to take a little bit of this down the neck as well to try and match up, because I've used that darker shade. I've done that by habit because this is my summer holiday face palette and I've always got tan on when I do it, but I forgot really that without tan I should just go with this one. But anyway, easy enough to match up the neck. So there's my face, nicely bronzed, and now we're going to go in with the blush. Now this has quite a lot of glow to it, so you might feel you don't even need the highlighter, but for me personally, I've always used the two of them. Actually, I wanted to get my Refa brush today and then start applying this blush. And you'll see straight away you get the most beautiful, beautiful shine from this. And you get the most beautiful texture. The way that this sits on top of the bronzer and the colour you get from it, I just adore it. I love the glow. You get the real Charlotte Tilbury glow look. If you have a light complexion like me, go lightly with this one, because even though all the reviews are saying about having to build this one up, on my complexion, I think I pick up a lot of colour with this, so I really don't need much of this at all. In fact, just a couple of taps into this is more than enough, unless I'm wearing tan. But this just blends out so beautifully, so easily. There's no patchiness, and it just fuses, obviously, with the other powders because they work in union together so well. It just gives you a gorgeous, gorgeous glow, and it is perfect for holiday. I don't tend to wear this one in the autumn winter. It is very much a holiday sort of summer vibe for me. I think the colours are quite warm for me with my cool tone skin, but they're perfect for when you're going for the sort of golden holiday look. So that's where I've always used it, and that's where it's really come into its own. I am tapping back in when I said don't go too much, but I am being careful, because if I swirl around and pick up too much, I can suddenly get way too much pigment, because you can really build this up. So if you've got a much deeper skin tone to me, I think you'll still get on very well with this one, because you can really build it up to be quite a deep shade. And you can see I've got a lot of shade there, in fact probably a little bit too much for my current complexion. Anyway, let's wait and see till everything is put together. I can always go in with a finishing powder to calm things down if I think I've gone in too heavily there. So there it is, more built up. And I do think it's a bit heavy for me with my current pale skin, so I will go in with a finishing powder, my YSL, and my buffer brush from Sonia G, and calm that down. But I just wanted to overapply a bit more there, just to show you what I meant about how it's so buildable in pigment, and will work on most skin tones, I think, because you can go light and you can go much stronger. As with all Charlotte Tilbury products, you do need to be aware that it's very glowy, so you do need to really want to embrace the glow. But it's a nice glow. It's not an over-the-top glow. It's not a glittery glow. It's not one that I think is bad for mature skin. I think it's very complimentary on mature skin. And this is one that always looks nice all day. So every time I look in the mirror throughout the day, I think it looks beautiful, and my complexion just looks so healthy. So now let's finish with the highlight. So I'm taking my Victoria Beckham fan brush. Now taking this highlight on the tops of my cheeks here. Look at that. Even though it's a goldy shade, which is often not good for me, I just think this is the perfect level, the perfect amount. And like I said, very much giving me a summer bronzed look. So I'd say that's the only disadvantage of this, is if you were to buy this and you've got my skin tone, you might find that it's not such a good one for you to use in the winter and autumn months, when you're maybe looking for more of a cool tone look or less bronzy. But for a summer palette, I think it's perfect. A little bit down the nose and the Cupid's bow. So before I move on to the eyeshadow, I'm going to actually show you the lip product, because I've got a few lip products to show you. So I'm going to start with the first look. So this is a new product from Charlotte. This is Lip Cheat Contour Duo, and I've got mine in the shade Fair, which is still quite deep. If you're looking at, for instance, the Lip Cheat in Fair shade, I'll get that because I always use that one. The Pillow Talk Fair, going by the size of it, you can see how much I use it. Very different shades, so I will show you that actually. So these colours, it says, are expertly matched to create natural looking lip definition. We have the Powdery Sculpt shade. So on this one, which side is Sculpt? This one is the Sculpt shade. This one is designed to outline the lips with a shadow effect. And then you have the Creamy Fill shade in a lighter hue, designed for all over lip colour. The two shades work in harmony to create the easiest lip contour of your life, apparently. So this one is, the shades are Light Pinky Nude, is the Sculpt shade, and the Fill shade is Nude Pink Mauve. So if I just do a swatch of these. So here are the two. This one is the Sculpt and this one is the Fill. And this one here is the Pillow Talk Fair. So I suppose Pillow Talk Fair looks more like the Fill shade. I think that's what threw me. The Sculpt shade looks a bit deeper than the Pillow Talk Fair. So it's almost like the reversal. But anyway, I have tried this once on the lips and I'm not entirely sure how I feel about this product, I'm going to be honest. But anyway, let's try it on now because I did do it late in the day. So let's put on the Sculpt. It's really throwing me that this looks like Pillow Talk Fair and I think that should be Sculpt, but the deep shade here is the Sculpt. Very creamy, super easy to apply as with all lip cheats. But I'm seeing so much more pigment than I would if I was using Pillow Talk Fair, so definitely keep that in mind if you think you're getting the same shade. So now I'm going to go with the Fill shade. I do like this though, I think it's lovely and it certainly works very nicely with the colours I've got on my cheeks. But anyway, let's go over the Fill shade now. And this is just a pencil. It's quite, I've already gone down that much for my first application and I already feel like I want to sharpen it. In fact, I probably will, because I want to use it on the side rather than the tip because it's a bit more comfortable on the lips to do that. But then you need to really sharpen it and have a fair bit of length. So I've sharpened it now down to there and I'm going to use the side. It's just not a very comfortable thing to apply on the lips. It has that sort of drag and I can see all the lines in my lips already because it's not very hydrating at all on the lips. It does feel like I'm putting a lip liner on my lips, to be honest, and not a lip pencil that's for the lips. Like I've got the Pat McGrath one, for instance, which is so creamy, and the NARS one's really creamy and much chunkier, so when you apply it, it's almost like a lipstick anyway. There is some hydration, it's not completely bone dry, but I definitely feel it's emphasising lines. But I do think it's a beautiful duo. I think it looks gorgeous. I think the way I would use this, and I probably, now I'm seeing it applied properly, I do really like the look of it actually. As long as I've got a gloss on top, this could be a winner, especially if it locks in colour in the same way the liner does. So if I've got locked in colour for hours and then I just need to go in with a gloss, this could be a winner. But I definitely need some sort of gloss. Like I said, I can rub my lips together comfortably, so it's not dry, but I prefer something a little bit more hydrating on the lips. But I'm not quite as negative about it as I was when I tried it yesterday. In fact, now I'm looking at it, I quite love the way it looks. It's strange how you can completely change your mind, but I wasn't doing it properly. I wasn't really looking at it with the lights on properly, and I was doing it late in the day, so my first impression was not great. I'll leave them on the back of my hand so we can see what the longevity is like, so we can see if that Fill shade has got the same sort of staying power as the actual shape. So now let's just go on and do the eyeshadow. So I'm not going to review this particularly because this is an old product, but this is coming up as an option for duos in this collection. So you might be picking this up for the first time or stocking up on a new one because of the deal, so you can save money on this one. I think, have I written down any details on it? It's £47 and it says you can get 2 easy to wear modern matte eye looks from this. So I don't know if that means they're suggesting that's one look and that's another look. Probably is the brown look and then the smoky black look. So because we're going with the very warm shades here, I think I'll go with these. So I'll start with this one here to keep this very, very simple. Using my Victoria Beckham blender brush, taking this lighter shade into the crease. So this is made in Italy. And the matte formula is very, very good. I think I said I don't really need to review this. It's been around for a while. And I haven't tried it, but I know Charlotte's formulas. I know her mattes are very good. And I know some people put this in their favourites all the time because it's something they go back to all the time for something that's so reliable. And it's always good having a nude small item in your top drawer or in your makeup bag to use as a base to go and complement all sorts of looks. Well, that's a really nice base shade which works very well with the Nudegasm shades on my cheeks. And I'm actually going to take this lightest shade across the whole of the mobile lid. And then I'm going to take this one for a bit of depth in the outer V and taking it on to the very first sort of third of the mobile lid as well. So I'm going to see if this lighter shade here, which is more to be used with these three here, I believe, will this work as a pop of light in my inner corner? Because I don't think I could use any of those three for that. I'd like to keep with this matte look for now. And just a little bit there under the brow. So now I would probably go in and use, for this sort of soft look, I would use this as my liner shade, but I'm not doing that today because, well, I might go in and finish with it actually, but I'm trying out this new eyeliner duo which I got. But again, before I do that, I'm going to try on another lip look so we can see it on a little bit longer. So let me just remove, I might try to keep the liner, but actually just remove the fill on my lips. So like I said, one of the duos you can get is a lipstick from the Nudes range, and you can get it with the lip liner. So now I've just got the liner on, and the Nudes one I've gone for is Kissing, and the shade I've got is Runway Royalty. So here it is, very much a true nude. I'll show you how that looks swatched on the back of my hand. Lovely shade actually. Let's try this. That's a very peachy shade, so it goes very nicely with Nudegasm. Or do you know what, this is a lovely shade for summer. So this is described as a soft rosy peach. Gosh, that is beautiful. I love that. That is a perfect summer lip for me. And isn't that a good match with the Nudegasm? Perfect match actually. And if you've got the Chanel collection, the new Chanel Le Beige with all those peachy orangey colours, or not peachy, goldy orange colours, I think this lipstick would look really good with that as well. So there's the duo of, and I think the liner looks really good with it. Do you know what, I said I didn't like that liner and I absolutely love it. Didn't take long for me to change my mind on that one. But anyway, let's now look at this liner duo. So this one comes with this highlighter end, which I've actually forgotten, and I've put my usual Delilah in the waterline. So I'm going to go on top of that, but keep in mind I've already got that. So here is how this looks. It's a little bit more of a white finish, I'd say, compared with my Delilah, but it is still creamy. So there's how it looks on the back of my hand there. So I'm adding this on top. Definitely more of a brightening shade than the one I was wearing. Very nice actually, I love that. And I think these are great because I always use a brightening shade in the waterline, and I nearly always use a brown liner, so this is the perfect product for me. Why I've only ever had the black and white one, I don't know. To be honest with you, I didn't know this one existed, so I don't know if it's been relaunched or if it's new. If you've had this one before, I've got a feeling it's not new, but if you know, please do let us know in the comments section. So now the liner, which is the brown. This is £25 by the way. It's a very dark brown. Very dark, isn't it? I don't know how this is going to look. It does describe it actually as a black brown. So, and it says it's very long lasting, which I know these are with Charlotte Tilbury. So let's take a little bit underneath and not go all the way across because of how dark it is. And then take it up for a little bit of a wing. Beautifully creamy. And then tight to the lash line. Oh, that is gorgeous actually. It is a dark brown, but wow, do I love it with these shades. And using my Refer 23, I'm going to now just take this and bring it across all the way, because I just want it to look a bit lighter when it reaches this point here, but still actually run there, you see what I mean? And I'll also tight line with this. Oh, I love that. I really love that. I think that is such a nice shade of brown. This is going to be in regular use, absolute regular use, I can guarantee you that. Absolutely no drag in this really difficult area here where the skin is so scrunched up and thin, on my eyes anyway. I think I'll finish this eye look with the Charlotte Tilbury Exaggerize. This mascara continues to be one of my absolute favourites, and this along with the Lisa Eldridge they're the only two that I've never had any smudging ever at all, and they're very waterproof. It's not quite as waterproof as Lisa Eldridge, but almost. Very, very good. This one doesn't give me the same sort of separation and length that I get with the Lisa Eldridge, but what it does do is give me a lot more volume. It does exaggerate my lashes, as the title suggests, and I really, really love it because I don't have any lashes, and every time I use this I feel like I've got lots. Now the last thing to look at is the Big Lip PLUMPGASM. Before I do though, let me just take off the lipstick I'm wearing, sadly, because I absolutely love it. So I'm going to try it on first, completely on its own, just so you can see, well I've still got the liner, but just so you can see how it looks on its own. Let's first of all take a look at the packaging and do a comparison with the original one that came out. So the very first two that came out both had this pink packaging, so it's exactly the same, it's just gold, so it's very easy to work out which one's from this nude collection. So this one is called Diamonds, and this is £27. This is a champagne nude plumping lip gloss with a diamond sparkle that makes the lips look bigger instantly and over time. So this packaging, you either love it or hate it, I think, a little bit like a lot of Charlotte Tilbury packaging. I personally love it. I love the glitz and glam, I love the fun, I love the way that sometimes they almost take me back to childhood when I used to just adore different things. I don't know. I loved things like this if I'd been given this when I was little, but I love it now as an adult too because it just makes me happy. And one thing I really want to say actually is I've noticed it's becoming increasingly popular to mock this sort of packaging and to mock certain brands and to also say a lot of negative things. I did make a comment about this recently on my public post on my YouTube channel. I do think that it's becoming, it's what's most popular on YouTube at the moment, and I don't think things like what I do, which is just normal reviews, is quite as popular from a click and a view point of view as when you're saying something controversial, negative, and for some reason certain brands seem to get targeted more than others. And at the moment I feel Charlotte Tilbury is one of the brands that it's very popular to mock, and I really find it quite uncomfortable. I have no problem whatsoever in someone saying, I really don't like this packaging and it's too tacky for me, I don't enjoy it. That's absolutely fine, and we should all be able to say these things. But I think it's reaching the point where if you do love this, you're almost ashamed to say it because you're in fear of people attacking you, saying, why do you love it when it's rubbish? And because it's become so trendy on other platforms and on this platform for creators to make fun of things, and that's how they're actually getting views, in all honesty. And I think it's something I can't personally do because these are people who've loved these brands for years and now they're enjoying mocking them, and I feel like I had to say that because it's something that really upsets me. And as hopefully if you know me, you'll know I'm always honest, and I will say if I don't like a product, and I will say if I love a product, and I'll also say if I don't love packaging. But what I won't do is continuously mock things, and I also won't say that a product isn't good just to get clicks and likes when we all know it is good, and that's something I'm seeing happen more and more and more. And for me, Charlotte Tilbury is one of those brands that seems to, it's trending so much to hate that it's almost like if you keep hearing it, you're going to believe it. So a lot of people, I think, believe these things about brands because they've heard this repeated and repeated. Anyway, I really felt I needed to say that because it's something that's really bothering me, and it's something, if that's what it takes to grow my channel, I can't personally do it, and I won't do it. I have to stay true to me, and I also don't want to ever go down that line of making fun of brands because I just don't like it. So I had to say that because it's really been on my mind. And I have to say, I don't get this on my channel. I've got wonderful subscribers. I love the community that I've got to know on this channel, and I don't get these horrible comments on my channel. But I do worry that as my channel grows, that this sort of these sorts of comments could start to creep in. And whilst I will happily ignore them, I really hope they don't. I just hope this trend stops. I really do. And I maybe it's enjoyable to watch. It might be fun. It might be a laugh. That's absolutely fine if that's what you're interested in. But I do feel for people who love certain brands, it's almost making them feel embarrassed or awkward about enjoying things because people are going down that sort of mockery route. Anyway, I love Charlotte Tilbury and I love this packaging, and I don't care if people don't like it. I do. And if you hate it, that's fine too. That's absolutely fine. Just remember to be kind is all I'm saying, which I know you do because you're lovely here on my channel. But anyway, let's stop waffling and try this on. So I tried on the pink one yesterday to remind myself what it's like. It's never burnt me, the pink one. It's got a very intense sort of cold sensation, and the plumping feeling continues for a good 15 minutes. But for me, it's never been uncomfortable. There's almost a sweet fragrance with this, and the doe foot, this is the shape of the doe foot. So let's put this on. Oh, look at that sparkle. Oh, look at that. Isn't that lovely? This reminds me a bit of the, straight away, the Pat McGrath, is it the Diamond? No, this one's called Diamond. Oh gosh, that does have a strong tingle. Is that more than yesterday? Maybe it is a tiny bit more. But for me, it's not a burn. It's like really sort of, it's a nice tingly actually. I like it. It's very cool, like a deep cool sensation. Like I'm putting peppermint on my lips. Oh, I love that. Look at that sparkle. And see that close up? I'm still trying to remember the Pat McGrath one I'm trying to think of. The one that's the gold lip gloss, the gold coloured, gold sparkle. It reminds me a lot of that. But you know what I'll do is before it starts plumping, I'll quickly take it off because I'm going to put the lip duo back on and see how it looks on top of that. So I've still got the liner on my lips, so I'm now just going to go back in with the fill from this lip duo. So now I've got the lip duo back on, and I love it. Love that lip duo. So let's see how it looks with the PLUMPGASM on top. I've still got the tingling sensation from before, so I'm going for the double tingling sensation now. Oh, that looks lovely on top. Oh wow, that's gorgeous. That's definitely my favourite PLUMPGASM, definitely. My favourite of the two of these that launched, there was basically a lighter and a dark. They were both sort of slightly pinky, weren't they? So this was my favourite because it was lighter, and this on top of Pillow Talk Fair liner and Pillow Talk Fair lipstick. That's a beautiful combination as well. But this is more of a good combination for summer, so I've got two possible favourite lip combinations for Charlotte now. Gosh, I'm really feeling that. Now I've done it twice. In very intense cold sensation. But that's gorgeous. So let's look at the back of my hand as well. We did say we'd see how these were doing. So that was the actual Pillow Talk Fair. These are the two from the new one. So let's see if... No, they're not lasting. They have actually rubbed off. So let's see Pillow Talk Fair. So neither one of these have lasted anything like the normal lip cheat. Well, that is a bit disappointing, isn't it? Original lip cheat and the new Sculpt and Fill. So the lip cheat Sculpt and Fill does not have anything like the longevity of the original lip cheat formula, unfortunately. But I will test it out over time. I love the way it looks, so I'm going to wear this quite a lot, I think, and I'll let you know what the longevity is like. But from the way it's applied and the way it feels, I think I will get a good few hours out of it. But clearly it's not going to give me lip cheat, which can literally be still there in the evening, the liner, when I use lip cheat. This is the liner. This is the waterline shade, and this is the brown liner, so we can see what that's like. They are not moving at all, not budging, so that's good news. That's the lipsticks, there's no point testing that one. So there we go, that is everything from this collection. And I do think the lip products have probably given me the biggest smile today. I already knew that Nudegasm was wonderful, so I know that I love that. I really love the matte formula, I think it is gorgeous, and I can't wait to try these shades because these are probably more me, the cool tone, rather than the warm. I thought they blended beautifully, and this for inner corner, it's not quite replacing my favourite inner corner colour, but it certainly works, and for under the brow. But the formula on this is fabulous, and we've got a brown and a black liner and then the inner corner, so I can see why it's so popular. It's got perfect shades and the formula is so easy to blend together. Very rare that I just go for an all matte look, and I am resisting hard not to reach for a sparkle on the lids, but I think it'll make a nice change just to go for an all matte look. And well, I don't need to say anything more about the Nudegasm. Oh, quickly before I go, actually, I've got sitting here on my desk the Hollywood Bronze and Glows. Somebody asked me if I could compare the bronze in this with the one from Nudegasm, so I'll just very quickly do that before I forget. So here they are side by side, so the only one I can compare there would be obviously the lighter one, but looking at them together I don't think there's any similarities. I think it's a lot cooler, the light one from Nudegasm. There's the Nudegasm, and here is the one from Hollywood Glow. So there's a lot more pigment in the Nudegasm, but then my Hollywood Glow is around about the same age as my original Nudegasm, so it is getting a bit old now. I'll try and layer up a little bit. So there it is, layered up a bit. So they're definitely not very similar. So anyway, I just remembered that in time before I forgot. So yeah, standouts for me, the duo for the eyes and the duo for the lips, absolutely beautiful. And love, love, love this one. Thought it was stunning. Really stunning, gorgeous. I love it, absolutely love it. And also this lip colour that I got, can't see it anywhere now in the mess in front of me. Here it is. This again isn't new, but you can get it in one of the duo deals that they've got. So this was the shade, let me remind myself, Kissing Runway Royalty. So beautiful, beautiful shade of lipstick. I'm so happy I've got that because I'll be wearing that a lot now for the summer. So overall, a fabulous collection. I love doing Charlotte Tilbury reviews, and everything I've shown you today, they can all become staples, and I think all of them will easily become staples. Nudegasm is already a staple in my collection, but everything else that I've bought, I've just added to my staples. These are not going away, these are staying on the desk, and these will be put into regular use. I do think the lip colours are very much summer shades, apart from the lip duo actually, which could be all year round for me. But I think it's not quite as maybe winter, autumn appropriate as the Fair. I think I would switch the two. But I could get away with a lip duo all year. And obviously the eye duo and the eye colours. You've got winter and summer almost in this if you think about it. I'm picking up the wrong product with the eyeshadows because I'm wearing what I consider the more sort of summery warm shades. And then we've got the cooler shades. So that's giving you all year round for sure. And the eyeliner will go with so many looks and be used all year round as well. So I'm delighted with this collection. It's definitely a good time to pick these products up if they've been in your wish list, because you can save a few pennies when you add them into these duos or trios. I think there's even a selection pack where you can get about 5 of the products. And one of the products I didn't use in this video was the contour wand, which is also included in one of their packs and one of their saver bundles. I didn't do that because I wanted to show you how I use the Nudegasm to contour, but you can do that as well. And I didn't show you the brush because it didn't arrive on time, but I'm looking forward to showing you the brush, and I will definitely try the brush out and let you know if I like it when I do get it. Anyway, that is all from me for today. Please don't forget I've got that discount code that I keep forgetting to remind you about, but I will pop that again on screen now whilst I've just remembered it, and it's also going to be below for you in the description of the video below. Anyway, if you have enjoyed this, please do hit the like button, and please do subscribe if not subscribed. I would love to have you here, but if you're already subscribed, you're at the end of another review, and I really, really appreciate you being here. And I do hope to see you all again for my next video. Take care everybody, bye!